WTIM, your information station, and our WTIM morning show with Pana civic, business, and nonprofit leaders. It's coming to you from our Taylorville studios. The WTIM Pana morning show. It's brought to you by our title sponsor and People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, along with Pizza Man, Noren's Hardware, Bob Riding's Pana, the Nokomis Dairy Queen, Pana Bowl, and the Okanee Chop Shop. I'm your host, Grayson Bauman, and our guest in this segment, I've got Morgan Wilbur. Morgan is a registered nurse with Quad County Home Health and Hospice. Good morning to you, Morgan. How are you doing today?
Good morning. Good. How are you?
I'm doing well, and I'm glad to hear that you're doing all right. I appreciate you joining us here for the morning show, and we wanted to start with a little bit about yourself and how long you've worked for Quad County Home Health. How long has that been, and what can you tell us about yourself?
Yeah, so I went to Pana High School, and then after that went to Lakeland, got some prereqs, went to Lakeview in Charleston. That's where I got my nursing degree. After that, I just kind of dabbled in some long-term care and decided that I wanted to come back to the community. So I started at Quad County about a year and a half ago. Really just kind of wanted to give back to, those who've always given to me in the community. So.
Well, very cool. And so it sounds like this was a decision kind of to bring you back closer to home, but also just to give back to your community. And I'm sure most people can certainly appreciate that as well. When it comes to Quad County Home Health and Hospice and the services they provide, what can you tell us about some of those?
Yeah, so Quad County has been around for about 40 years. We are with Pana Hospital. We offer home health therapy and hospice. So home health has physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy. We also have a social worker and then home health aides if needed. We also do hospice, like I mentioned, and we have all of those same services as well as massage therapy, bereavement services, and then hospice volunteers as well.
Okay, so that is quite a bit going on there in terms of the services, and you mentioned like bringing them to the home and having folks that come in and also just kind of a slew of different people. In your role as a registered nurse, what does that kind of look like for you specifically?
Yeah, so for home health, nursing comes in and we do skilled assessments. We do education on medication, on whatever ailments or comorbidities the patient has. Our goal is to keep them safe at home, avoid going to the hospital, avoid going to the ER. There are things we can do at home, just like they can do in the ER or in the hospital. So goal is just to keep them out of the hospital.
Okay. And I know that that's probably, kind of a frequent flyer thing for some of these folks who are nearing the end in that case, and those that aren't even, that are just instead going to get care at home rather than versus, getting health care or at a hospital setting or whatever the case might be. For you, what does it mean for patients to receive home health care versus hospice care?
So home health focuses more on curative treatment. What can we do to make sure that, they get healthier and, live a long life and prosper and things like that. Hospice is more comfort focused. We want to make sure that our patients that are at end of life are comfortable and, they have dignity and respect and, make sure that their family members are supported and so it's a difference there between home health and hospice, but yeah.
For you, Morgan, and I don't know, I don't want to, put this on you here as if you are the one that determines each time. But how do you determine which service is right for each individual? Is that something that you go into the home setting, you talk with family, and then kind of make a decision based off that? Or how does that decision go? How do you determine which service, healthcare at home versus hospice care, is right for that person and patient?
Sure. So initially when the referrals come to our office, the physician has already made the determination whether they think they're more appropriate for home health or more appropriate for hospice. And that physician has had the conversation with that patient prior to them coming to us. So that's how it starts. Now, there are times where we have a patient on home health and we are seeing them frequently, maybe more, than the physicians, and we see there's a decline and they may be more appropriate for hospice. Then that's a discussion we have with the physician and then also with the family, and just kind of help determine what is going to be the right path for the patient. So ultimately it's up to the physician and then the family, and then we're just there to kind of help, with the decision.
With whatever decision that might be. And so that's where you guys kind of step in. And that makes sense for me. It just kind of gives me an idea of how that kind of goes, I guess, chronologically in this sense as well. You mentioned some of those specific ways that home health care supports patients. Can you describe some of those? You mentioned quite a few, and I don't want to, put you in a bind here and make you describe every single one of them, but could you just tell us a few of those bigger pieces even?
Yeah. So initially, whenever home health comes in and we do their admission, we decide, or we have the patient tell us, what do you want to work on while we're here? What is one goal you want to be able to achieve, while you're working with us? And so they will give us things like, we want to walk better, we want to get stronger, but there's also things like, we want to mow the yard, we want to get on a horse, we want to drive a side-by-side, things that they've been doing before that they can't do now. So we really try to focus on the goals that they want to accomplish with therapy, and also just doing it safely, with physical therapy and occupational therapy, working on strength, balance, activities of daily living, bathing, dressing, all of those things. What can we do to get them as safe as possible and back to, their baseline and whatever it is that they're wanting to do again.
So kind of taking care of the core tenets, I guess, being able to bathe yourself, feed yourself, things of that nature. And then maybe let's focus on getting you back on the side by side or on that horse, getting you back to your goal. So when it comes to goal setting, you do speak specifically with the patient, or do you also have something along the lines of a physician and family that are also kind of helping set those goals too?
Yeah, so it's kind of a collaborative effort. Whenever they come to us, of course, we have what the physician is ordering us for. Do they have wound care or IV antibiotics? And do they need medication education or education on their comorbidities? So yes, of course, we'll do that. And that is what the physician has ordered us for. And then we just get that extra information from the patient or their family, those kind of personal goals that they want to achieve. So we have a pretty lengthy conversation with the patient and their family at admission and decide what, how to best go about this and what plan of care do we want to create for this patient to get them back to where they want to be.
Gotcha. And right now joining us on the WTIM Pana Morning Show, Morgan Wilbur, registered nurse with Quad County Home Health and Hospice. Morgan, is there any other specific ways that home health care patients get that support when they're at home that you can tell us about? I know the goal setting, obviously a big thing, but is there anything else that you can really let us know about that kind of goes into this whole process?
Yeah, so we are just there, to support the patient and their family. And, we have a nurse available 24/7. So that is the big thing that we have, is we have support around the clock, 24/7, 365. We're just a call away and we can be there to help with any of the needs.
I think that would have to be probably the biggest thing that you could possibly do, just being somebody or being in somebody's corner, really, in that regard. We're talking a little bit about home health care. I'm wondering, how does hospice care provide comfort and support? Obviously for the patient, first and foremost, but also the families. You mentioned things like bereavement services. What can you tell us about hospice care and how it is providing comfort and support for all involved?
So I mentioned earlier, all the services that we have available to the hospice patient: nursing, home health aides, social worker, massage therapy. All of us are we're all part of their team when they're on hospice. So every time that we go in and see the patient or their family, we're providing support for them, emotional support, just answering questions, even just being there, being a sounding board for the patient or their family. So that's the biggest thing.
Sure.
While they're here, this is the support we're going to provide to you. And then again, being available 24/7. And then, after the patient does pass away, we mentioned bereavement services. So our social worker is great, and she touches base with the family for up to 13 months after the patient has passed away. So just providing support to them, whether that's visits, phone calls, whatever they need. She also holds support groups, bereavement support groups, at our office. So that's another option that we have as well.
Just a way to take care of the families after the loss of life from the patient. And that's an important piece in it as well, and obviously getting the comfort and support that patient needs up until the end of their life. Well, Morgan, I think we should take our first break. We'll do so, and we'll come back and we'll talk more about Quad County Home Health and maybe even some awards that have been given out in the last little while. So Morgan Wilbert, registered nurse with Quad County Home Health and Hospice, joining us here on the WTIM Pana Morning Show. It's brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first. Pizza Man, Noren's Hardware, Bob Riding's Pana, the Nokomis Dairy Queen, Pana Bowl, and the Oconee Chop Shop. Give us just a moment, and we'll be right back on WTIM, your information station.
WTIM.
This is Jeff Bremmett with People's Bank and Trust, where customers have one consumer banker who knows them and provides the right financial services to achieve their financial goals. Your consumer banker is your single source for life's financial needs, from checking to consumer loans, from retirement accounts to mortgage loans, and everything in between. Call me at 888-PBT-1954. Bank with People's Bank and Trust so you can spend your time living your life, not explaining it. At People's Bank and Trust, we put people first. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hi, Brian at Bob Riding's in Pana here to tell you about our August clearance event, where we're making room for all of our winter models due here in September. We have used Jeep, Nissan, Ford vehicles under $20,000. We have new Chrysler Voyagers under $40,000. We have new Jeep Compasses under $30,000. We have new trucks with 3/4 tons under $50,000 and half tons in the very, very low 40s, all the way up to the top trim. We have something for everyone. We have the biggest inventory we've had in years. You can find us online at bobridingspana.com.
Dinner time just got easier with Pizza Man of Pana. Enjoy great food that includes amazing pizza, tasty pasta, salad bar, and chili. On Monday nights, enjoy the spaghetti special with garlic bread and a side salad for $8. On Tuesday nights, come in for the lasagna special with garlic bread and a side salad for $9. On Wednesday nights, grab yourself an individual pizza and side salad for $9. Pizza Man of Pana is proud to be serving Pana and the surrounding areas with great Italian food since 1985.
Summer's heating up, and so is your grill. Stop by Oconee Chop Shop, your local USDA butcher shop right off Highway 51 in Oconee, Illinois. We've got premium cuts of beef, pork, and chicken, plus barbecue sauces, cheeses, eggs, sodas, and more. Need custom meat processing? Bring in your own animal, and we'll handle it start to finish. We also do custom deer processing October through January. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and Saturday, 9 to 1. Find us on Facebook or at OconeeChopShop.com.
Looking for food, fun, and bowling? Head to Pana Bowl. We've got open bowling every Friday and Saturday night, perfect for family fun or a night out with friends. Don't miss our Tuesday and Wednesday special, unlimited bowling from 5 to 10 p.m. for just $9. Feeling hungry? Our kitchen's cooking up favorites Tuesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Visit PanaBowl.net or like us on Facebook for the latest deals and events. Pana Bowl, where the good times roll.
Work hard, sleep well with Bemco and Just Beds. You work hard, your stress is high. You need the best night's sleep possible. That's just what you'll get at Just Beds. All this month, save on Bemco mattresses. $49. Queen mattresses, just $229. Just Beds. Bemco, Arctic Breeze, Max Life, and the all-new Spring Air Copper Mattress. As always, free delivery, setup, and removal. Work hard, sleep well. Visit the Yawn Exterminators at Just Beds on Montvale Drive, Springfield.
Just Beds. WTIM.
We're back with more of the WTIM Morning Show here on your information station. We're brought to you by not only People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, but Pizza Man, Noren's Hardware, Bob Riding's Pana, the Nokomis Dairy Queen, Pana Bowl, and the Oconee Chop Shop. I'm your host, Grayson Bauman. Our guest in this segment, we've got Morgan Wilbert, registered nurse with Quad County Home Health and Hospice. We want to turn our attention now to kind of focusing on family members and if they need these services and things like that. But another question I have for you before we jump into that, what qualifications, Morgan, do your staff members have? Somebody like yourself or others? And also, how do they help ensure patients get the best possible care that they're able to get?
Yeah, so all of our staff members, our clinical staff members, are licensed through the state of Illinois. That's social work, aides, nurses, all of us. We're licensed through the state of Illinois. And that just, proves that we have, what it takes to get a license and provide the best care that we can. So,
And that license, I'm sure, is probably its own process and its own. Is that something you have to renew regularly, or is that something that you get it once, like a nursing exam or the completion of it, and you should kind of be all right?
All of the departments are different. As far as nursing goes, you don't have to necessarily renew your license. I mean, you have to pay the fee to renew your license, but no retesting or anything. You just have to do continuing education hours. So a little bit of ongoing education. You have to do so many hours every 2 years and have those ready should they audit you. As far as the other disciplines, I'm not really sure if they have to do continuing education hours. I'm sure they do. But as far as specifics, I'm not really sure.
That's all right. And I would figure that they do as well. And really, I mean, we're talking to you about this whole dang thing, and there's so much going on with it. And it's probably enough just your piece. So, asking you to know everybody else's, I don't want to put you in that spot either. So I guess my next question for you would be family members that are considering home health or hospice care, whatever the case might end up being, referral or else. What would you like them to know? What would you say about the services Quad County Home Health and Hospice offers?
So Quad County is locally owned and operated. It's a non-for-profit agency. So another good thing about it is it's a small company. We're not a huge company. We service just 5 counties. We service Shelby, Fayette, Montgomery, Macoupin, and I'm missing one, Christian. So we service just 5 counties. We have a very small team. You might see, of course, different nurses, but there's only a handful of us. So it's very small town feel. So I think that's good, as opposed to, some larger people. You don't really know who's coming to see you. So you'll probably know who we are, or know a family member, or know a friend, or someone, we'll have someone in common. So I think that's one good thing about being a small company.
And in a small area, and that end piece there, like, somebody that is also in relation to me, or at least a friend to me. And I think that lends itself to a healthy relationship being formed really right off the bat. And so it's something cool to hear as well. We mentioned awards before we went to break there. Quad County recently received a couple of those awards. Morgan, what were some of those?
So there's 2 different awards. One is the Home Health Award, and Quad County has ranked in the top 20% for all the home health agencies in the U.S. And we have had that for the past several years. And same goes for Quad County Hospice, although we've been ranked in the top 5% of the U.S. hospice agencies in 2022, 2023, and 2024. And those are all based on patient satisfaction surveys.
Well, congratulations, 1, but 2, if it's patient satisfaction surveys, to me, that means maybe more even than, say, some board coming down to you and saying, well, you're doing an excellent job. These are your patients. These are your people saying that. Does that, is that a better feeling almost for you to see that?
Yeah. And we get often little snippets, that patients or families send in the mail after discharge. And that's probably my favorite part is, seeing, if we did a good job, or, that's mostly what they send in, is that we really appreciate you and you did a good job. And so that makes you feel good. Like you're doing what you need to do and you're in the right place. So. Well,
and you'd mentioned earlier that you wanted to have an impact back on the community that you came from. And I'm sure that receiving a letter or receiving kind words will certainly make you feel like you're making your part. Certainly happen on that end as well. As we wrap up here, Morgan, we've got just about 30 seconds. My last question for you is, how can community members reach out if they want to learn more or see if they qualify for home health or hospice care?
So the best option would be to reach out to your physician or call us at our office. It's 217-562-6380. Our office is open Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30. If you happen to catch us after hours, we do have someone answering that, so we will get back to you.
Okay, perfect. Well, Morgan, thank you so much for joining us here on the WTIM Morning Show.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
You got it. Morgan Wilbur, registered nurse with Quad County Home Health and Hospice here on WTIM, your information station.
With SRN News, I'm Rich.